But when we get underway on the ship, our wives, our family members, they're standing alone on the pier. They have the tougher job, and they do it with amazing skill. There's no worse feeling than leaving your family behind on the pier. No better feeling than coming home to it. Thank you for taking care of everything on your own. I appreciate it. Okay, there are obviously many more people I could thank for this. This was just a brief part of the massive number. Captain Streeter, I'm glad to see you here today, sir. It's a pleasure. Thank you. Obviously, a lot of people that I could thank for this, but I told you that I'd tell you a birthday story, and I need to get on to that. So this one's going to be tough. The first spot on our deployment was in Normandy, France. We were there to commemorate the first Navy monument dedication on Utah Beach. Amazingly, in 60 years since U.S. forces went across that beach, nothing had been done to honor the Navy. Captain Streeter, thank you so much for doing that. The man who put the lion's share into making that happen is with us today, and it's an honor to see you here today, sir. I really appreciate that. One of my proudest moments, probably the proudest moment in command, the moment that solidified it all for me on my crew, was standing on the beaches of Normandy. Our crew was selected to participate in that. It was our first stop on the deployment, and the Commodore, who we deployed with, had an opportunity to pick another ship. He said, absolutely not. It's the Sullivans. That's the ship that needs to do this, not the other one. A great ship, nothing wrong with them, but this is the right crew for that job. And so, as we typically do in the Sullivans, we threw ourselves into that. We just went full bore into that. We participated in that ceremony. It was interesting seeing a brand new STGSN talk to a World War II ST and trading stories and what their life lessons had been. But seeing the whole crew come together and honor those World War II vets, both living and those who had passed, for me was sort of the seminal moment of my career. It was the proudest moment of my life. So when we got done with that ceremony, I can't remember which one of the crew members came up to me, but they introduced me to a man who had been born about 60 years ago in France. This man wanted to thank me. And I thought, why? Why does he want to thank me? You see, 60 plus years ago, when he was conceived, his parents lived in an occupied country. That occupied country was France, and they were French citizens. A madman bent on tyranny and destruction of the world had overrun their country. And so when that young man, that young child was conceived, all his parents knew is that he would be born into essentially captivity, that he would not be a free Frenchman. But when those sailors, soldiers, airmen, and Marines stormed across those beaches with the Allied forces, we changed his life fundamentally. We gave him freedom back. And he wanted to thank us for that. He wanted to thank us for being the guarantors of his freedom. And he saw in my sailors the same thing that I see in my sailors. It has been argued that the World War II generation was the best generation. There is no doubt that the World War II generation accomplished many great things, but I must humbly disagree with that statement. Every American generation has been called upon to give the utmost sacrifice. They have been called upon to give the ultimate sacrifice, their freedom and their lives, in exchange for guaranteeing freedom around the world. And that's what he recognized by the crew you see standing in ranks today. He knew that the sailors standing there on that day, 60 years later, were the same sailors who had guaranteed his freedom before he was born. And that is why my crew are my heroes. Because I know, without a shadow of a doubt, that if called upon to give their utmost in defense of freedom worldwide, they will do it. They will do it because they believe in freedom. We come from different areas of the world and different areas of the country, but each one of us has devoted ourselves to that one noble ideal, freedom. And for that, I thank you. You're my heroes. I love you. Thank you. Regrettably, I have reached that time in the ceremony where I have to turn it over. And I know the sun's coming out and it's getting hot for you out there standing in the ring, so we'll move it along quickly now. I can say without equivocation that Commander Fontanilla is one of the finest officers I have ever met. He is a true gentleman and has shown amazing patience throughout this entire week. Neil, I have no doubt that I'm turning my ship over to a commanding officer that will take it even further than I did. You will accomplish amazing things with this crew. I wish you, Tracy, Caitlin, and your entire family God's blessings as you go on this journey. I know it's going to be a difficult one, but you've got a great team in Tracy and Caitlin. So on your behalf, I'm going to thank them also, if you don't mind. Thank you very much for the support you're going to give it. He'll do it too, but I know what I'm talking about now that I've been through it. Thank you so much for that. Commodore Kirsch, it's that time, sir. Thank you for being my guest speaker today.